and we'll be back just after the break. Cue wardrobe change. Alright, I'll share one of my anecdotes. I don't have anecdotes, okay? I'm constantly delightful to be around, so I don't really, no one's ever mean to me or anything like that, except for my friends. I did get a haircut, however, and let me tell you guys, I grew up getting a very simple haircut, which was whenever my hair got much too long, at the same time as all my brother's hair did, because we all got haircuts on the same day, consistently. My mom would be like, okay boys, time for a haircut, and then we'd all line up, well not exactly line up, but essentially we'd all be like, okay, I'm first, I'm second, whatever. And then she'd take the electric clippers and just go and that's done, okay? And that worked for me for most of my life. Once I got around, I don't know, 14 maybe, I was like, okay mom, that's okay, but I'm gonna get a different haircut. So I went out to a salon. And basically it was great, because in Madagascar, I don't know how to communicate any of that. So the guy asked, so how short do you want it? I'm like, kind of short. So then he goes and he cuts it, and he's like, is it good? And I'm like, no, I'm going to be back here next month. Can you cut it a bit shorter? He cuts it a bit shorter. That's my haircut. That's done. Ayo, great. Okay? So I assume that's how it works, How short do you want it? Kind of short. Is this good? No, a bit shorter. Boom, done. Exchange over. So I come here, my hair is too long, it's making these weird curls and stuff, which it's starting to do again. So I'll need a haircut soon, which is terrifying. But I go to this salon, and the lady says, is number 2 for the sides fine? And I don't know if you know this, but my hair is really light. So I don't know what she means. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna ask what she means. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I exit that place looking like this. Okay, cue wardrobe change. How magic, cool, yes.
Another fun thing about Australia is crossing the street. I don't know if you talked about that already, but
yeah.
It's one of the best experiences because basically there's a lot of rules involved, and then on top of those rules there's a lot of unspoken social codes, right? So one of the rules is like, you have to like cross specific places. Makes sense, lots of countries are like that, like at the traffic lights, and then there'll be like little lights for the crossing and so on. Those are simple because there's lights and there's rules. But say you're at a normal crossing where there's just like a striped zebra crossing on the road or something, you're standing there, the car comes speeding along, they go down, you're like, oh, I'll wait for the car, you
like
stop.
200 miles per hour,
Definitely.
There's no way they're stopping.
And so you're like, oh, I'll just wait for the car. And they'll get down there, and then they will slam on the brakes, and they will screech to a halt right in front of that crossing, stopping, not touching it, just waiting, and then they'll look at you. And you're like, what? I was gonna wait for you. And they'll be like, no, you go. And it's like, no, it's fine, go. And they're like, no, you go. And he's like, no, you can, it's fine, just drive, go, buddy. And it's like, no, you go first.
To be fair, Justin's the only one who argues with the car and says, no, you go. Everyone else just sort of says, okay, well, you're lost. You were in front of me and now you're behind.
So
that makes you a sap. I don't have any more stories. I was at a bookshop and I recommended a book to some people. That was pretty cool. Never done that before.
Another good one is the when you're in the shops, and it's quite interesting because the checkout people will pack your bag for you, and I feel bad about that as well because I'm like, I can pack it.
No.
I'm like, no, it's fine, we'll pack it. And like, but if you just swipe the things and I pack, it's faster.
Right.
And it's like, no, we'll pack. And so then I just stand there like, I can't do anything at this point.
Right.
You're swiping the stuff, you're packing the bags, I'm literally standing waiting to pay. You have to admit that since our lockdown ended, and now we are in lockdown again, but since our lockdown ended a few weeks ago, things have gotten pretty busy out and about in Melbourne as well. Like going down to the shopping centre is not as easy as it was during lockdown. There are people everywhere.
And the thing that makes it difficult, honestly, is the fact that we are still, social distancing. So whereas it's probably, I don't know, it's almost as many people as there were before lockdown, but now you have to stay far away from every single one of them. It's very difficult, and no one else seems to be trying at all. It's frustrating because just keep yourself away from me and I will do the same. But these people insist on just acting like life is normal. But yeah, these have been most of our, we haven't seen many people. That's the thing. I mean, we've seen them. We haven't met many people. Of my uncle's friends, we have met but 3, 4. We've met 4, 5. We've met more delivery guys than we have met of our uncle's friends. Tragic, yes. Avoidable, no. We need our stuff.
But if we just can circle back to Moomba for a second, I do want to tell one story. You see, something about different cultures is they have different slang, different vocabulary, and there's some important Aussie slang that you need to be aware of if you ever plan to visit here, which we were not aware of, by the way.
No.
Can I tell you?
No.
So here we are chilling out at Moomba, and they have this one event. It's on the Yarra River where they do. What is it? It's like
It's water skiing. Water skiing
jump thing, and anyway, so these guys will go out in the river, hold on thing, board, ramp in the water, boat tows them. How far can they leap? Well, skis really. It's not a board. They've got skis. So anyway, so we're there. It's quite chilly. It's not winter at this time, but it gets chilly as it gets darker. It's getting darker. Commentators commentating the whole thing beautifully, and then they make the very interesting observation. They comment that one of the contestants is feeling quite cold, and then they compare him to another contestant, they say, who's not feeling very cold because he's wearing his thongs.
Thongs, yes, plural.
So I'm like that
Singular would have been weird enough, but multiple?
So I'm like, what an interesting thing to say about a guy.
And they would not shut up about it. He goes on for 5 or so minutes,
solidly just commenting about how smart the guy is wearing his thongs. He must be very comfortable in his thongs, or how the other contestants should have brought some thongs. It goes on, no joke, 5 minutes, maybe as much as 7. And he gets there and he says, and then he suddenly seems to catch himself. He says, I should clarify for our American listeners that we mean flip-flops.
We're not American, however, we do rather subscribe to that other meaning of thongs. That sounded weird. I had never heard flip-flops referred to as such.
So you can imagine us sitting here listening to this guy and wondering what kind of bone he has to pick with this poor contestant that is raking him over the social coals, berating him for wearing these thongs in public in front of hundreds and hundreds of people.
Oh my goodness.
And we're kind of chuckling and laughing, and when he finally gets there and he says thongs are flip-flops, we burst out laughing. It felt like also because you realize to the Australians it's not weird. They're used to them being thongs. They knew what he meant.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a private joke just for us that he had carefully crafted all the setup, build up over 5 minutes of us wondering what the heck is going on. Finally, it's flip-flops. It was an amazing moment. Probably the highlight of the festival, in my opinion.
That's the video, folks. Thanks for watching. Anecdotes from Australia. It's been a very fun time. There's a lot more of it left. This video was filmed on the 13th of July, and hopefully we can postpone putting this one out for like a few weeks, okay? Hopefully. It's a dream. It's a dream. To the dream. Jam and Andy in the morning.